All right, y'all. So this
All right, y'all.
is the live edition.
The
We're bringing you into our real life. We
road
are
trip
on
edition.
road trip at this moment.
This looks like we're sideways.
Does it?
Are we sideways on
know,
this
maybe.
video?
Let's see. No,
Er?
that's the wrong thing. Anyway, so we're doing a little bit of a road trip edition. If we're sideways, hang with us.
This
Get this all set up.
is just what you get today. We're on our way to do a family trip that we do every year with Bob's family. Right?
Yeah.
Like,
You want to put that up there?
put it just a little bit further away. So they can see more of us. Anyway, oh, okay, you want them to see less of us, all right.
Just want everybody to be here.
Okay, so we're on our way. We do an annual family trip with Bob's family, so we're on our way to do that.
Yeah.
So, but we wanted to be here, so
Yeah.
here we are.
So what we're chatting about real quick is, I thought this would be a fun thing to discuss. 10 things that only our closest friends know about us.
Uh-huh.
And so the first thing that I think is really interesting about you.
About me.
Do you want to share?
Sure. So, the way I grew up, my dad was a musician, and it was his dream to have a family singing group. And so we did it for my
so
dad.
like the Jackson 5, like that?
No, people more call it like the Von Trapps or the Partridge Family. That's what they, not the Jackson 5.
So
We did
Linda
not
would
have
travel
coordinated
around to your
dances.
church, and she would play and sing with her family, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was, well, we weren't great. But because of that, we all developed a love for music, and yeah. I think we developed some skills there that we wouldn't have otherwise. But yeah, that was number one for me.
Yeah, so for
I
me,
was in the Edwards Family Singers.
one of the
growing up.
interesting things that a lot of people don't know, in which I don't know why you would or even care, but I'll go ahead and share it anyway. So I was actually a really good grocery bagger, believe it or not. If you even knew that was a skill, I don't know if it's a skill anymore, but at some
It
point.
is. If you go to Trader Joe's, they are really good at bagging.
Yeah.
But if you go to Sprouts, they're not so great at it.
Anyway, so I won some competitions and ended up winning some money because of my bagging skills. And I have a bagging trophy, believe it or not.
It's one of the things that drew me to you.
That's it, Best Bagger Award.
Best Bagger Award. I was like, I gotta have him.
So, another thing you may not know about Linda is that she was actually the rebel of her family.
I was totally the rebel.
Which is kind of funny if you know her, because she doesn't seem like the rebel type.
Well, I'm not. I'm not the rebel type.
But you were.
But I was so the rebel of my family, which really proves to you what a goody two-shoes family I come from. Because I think most people thought I was already a goody two-shoes, and when they find out I was the rebel, they're like, oh.
Yeah.
So what does that say for the rest of your family? Yeah, we were very, just, I don't know, what would you say? Just pure, innocent,
Super
very
conservative
innocent.
Christian family.
That's how I grew up.
It's a great way to describe it.
Yes, which will lead me into number 3, but let's do yours first.
Oh. Yeah.
If you weren't doing this, what would you be doing?
Yeah.
If you
Yeah, so a
weren't
lot of these are
running
kind of
SeedTime.
pulled from different questions that we were kind of thinking about asking. But anyway, yeah, if I weren't doing this, I would probably be a chef. I would probably, maybe even like a sourdough baker.
Oh.
But definitely doing something, I think, with food.
Which-
like, it's a love of mine. I love cooking really, really good food.
You're gluten-free, though, so you'd be making gluten-free sourdough, I guess.
Yeah, which I'm already doing.
Which you already do.
So, yeah, so I think that's one of those things that maybe we'll have you over for dinner. And I'll make you something good. Yeah.
You will love it.
And I'll probably go,
You
like,
will
I've
love
done at least a little bit of cooking classes, and I'll probably do a lot more over the rest of my life.
He really is such a good cook. Like, we have some friends that lived with us for a while, and they're like, Bob just whipped this up, just no problem. And it's always like so good, and you're like, how'd you do this? And he's like, I don't remember. I just threw stuff together. He's one of those cooks. But
Anyway.
yeah.
All right, you're number 3.
And not my number 3. So the rebel in me. I got 2 tattoos when I turned 40.
So now when she was 16, but when she was 40.
I don't know if you saw the Nate Bargatze the third special he did, which was on Amazon Prime.
Yes.
But in that one, he talks about growing up in a conservative Christian home and how, like, he had to hide stuff from his parents. Like, he talked about how his younger sister got a tattoo when she was 18, and he was like, "You're going to get in big trouble." And she said, "No, I'm not. I'm 18. I can do whatever I want." And he goes, "Well, I'm 28 and I'm still hiding wine." And I just was like, yes, that is exactly how I feel. Like, I had to hide stuff from my parents, even as an adult. And so, yeah, I got 2 tattoos. I just went for it. I was like, I'm not getting one.
2 for 1 deal.
I'm going in for 2. So one of them is a heart. They can't see that.
A little bit.
You can see
It's
it right
tiny.
there. And then I've got some of Bob's writing on my arm right
What
there.
is it?
It's your signature.
It's my signature. Signed, sealed, delivered, baby.
Signed, sealed, delivered.
Yep. So,
All right.
so another question that we were kind of exploring with this is like, what's your biggest fear? And for me, my biggest fear, and it's interesting because God has led me into this so many times, but my biggest fear, if I'm honest, is failure and failing. And I've always hated it, and yet part of my journey has just been that God just led me into failing. It's so many things. And I am like, because of that, I'm so convinced and such a big fan of failure. And I, you know, like all the motivational quotes you hear about failure and why it's so good, it's like, it's just true. It's absolutely true. And all of anything that resembles any success that I or we have had, it's like it all came as a result of so many failures. And so it's been hard, but it hasn't gotten easier. I still don't like it. I still don't like failing. But yeah. So
Failure.
failure.
What's your biggest fear? I didn't do anything that in depth or that deep on mine.
All right,
Okay,
what's
my
another
number 4.
thing that only our friends would know about us?
We've adopted twice, and we absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Like, I feel bad for people who don't adopt. I think that it is a huge missed opportunity. And I understand.
Well, not everybody's called to, but
I understand not everybody's called to it, but the people who are
it's
like,
just such a beautiful thing.
like, I had one person say to me, "Well, no offense, but I want to, you know, be pregnant and have my own child." And I was like, first of all, I do take offense to that. Because I'm like, you're missing out on what a great thing it is.
Well, I think we've realized it's not
Because-
a secondary option. It's not a less than. I can't get pregnant, therefore this. Which
It's
we didn't
actually-
understand that before.
Pure and undefiled religion is this, that you care for orphans and widows.
Yeah.
It's like, to me, this is like one of the
Yeah.
best things you can do.
It's holy. It's special.
Yeah.
It's,
But I mean, beyond that, it's just so, it's so cool because it's like we are all adopted into God's family. And I feel like you just get a new and fresh revelation of that, where it's like our kids, they're different as individuals.
we have 1 natural born and then 2 adopted.
Yeah.
And
There's no distinguishing between them because of adoption.
yeah.
Yeah. So
anyway, the reason we're saying all this, I guess, is that we're just big fans of it, and
huge fans.
we want to encourage
If you're on the
you.
fence and want to
If
do
you're on
it,
the fence.
send us a message. We will.
Yeah.
We'll be happy to chat and convince you that it is definitely the way to go.
Yeah. So another thing a lot of people don't know is I was a worship leader in my church for probably a decade, I would guess. Music was a really big part of my life for a really long time.
Which was a requirement if you were going to marry into my family, basically.
And that's pretty much what it was. Like, so then once we moved to Nashville, ironically, I've basically done nothing with music ever since. I barely picked up a guitar.
Although it is a requirement if you move to Nashville that you have to be
have
a
a guitar.
musician.
You can't move here without a guitar. You have to have something you can hang
It
on
is
the wall.
amazing how it's like, even like people who are not pursuing it as a job are still musicians.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like it just is a magnet for musicians. It's funny.
No, yeah, it's interesting. Our church, we go to a church, it's in Nashville, lots of musicians there. And we went to be in the choir at our church. And so we were in the choir for a couple different things.
We were the worst ones in it.
And it was fascinating to me. No, because like I'd been a worship leader a long time. But like almost everyone in the choir had been a worship leader or was a studio musician or was a professional musician or like, and so it's like just crazy.
Yeah,
crazy.
it's
But
pretty funny. Yeah.
all right.
Okay.
So I want to ask you a question now. Okay, so what is the most exciting part of your job, being part of what we're doing
Being
here
part
at
of
SeedTime?
SeedTime.
What's the most exciting part of your job?
The thing that is the most exciting to me is anytime we get to do live events. So talking to a crowd of people in person is my favorite for sure, but even over like Zoom and stuff like that, I really like that because I like the feedback. I like the
interaction.
Yeah, the interaction. Like I just think
Connecting
it's
with you.
right. I just think it's more fun. And I mean, that was, the blessing of 2020 is that we can connect a little bit better online than we could before.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's why every time we do something, we're like, please comment, please, please like say stuff in the thing. Don't just like hang there staring at us, because it really, I think it draws out more stuff in us. I think we'll say things that we wouldn't normally say if we realize that we've got friends like hanging out. Do you know what I mean? Like we're funnier. So yeah, that's my. I just think it brings out the best.
Yeah.
So that's what I like. What about you?
Yeah, I would probably say the same thing. And just in case you're wondering, we're doing a live workshop every month for the rest of this year.
Yes.
So just stay tuned, get on our email list if you want to hear about all those, seedtime.com/newsletter, or subscribe.
And come to that and chat with us there, because it really is. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, so that's a big thing I enjoy a lot. I really enjoy writing. Like writing the book was a very, I don't know, it was hard, incredibly challenging, but also incredibly fulfilling, and really enjoyed it a lot.
I agree. That was going to be my second one, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
Anyway, so that's a little bit about
10
us.
10 things you don't know about us.
10 things only our closest friends know. Now you are in the inner circle and you know some of them. I'm sure there are more, but yeah.
We should do more fun things, like what's the most expensive item you've bought?
What's the dumbest thing you bought?
What's the dumbest thing you bought?
We could do that. Maybe we'll do a whole episode on that.
Oh boy.
Anyway, all right.
Yeah, we can need more than one episode on that.
This was our little break to get out of the van for a minute and to say hi to y'all.
Yeah.
But we're going to get back on the road and head out on our trip. So
let's do this.
We will see ya. Bye.